This tour marks the incredible 44 years of the Bootleg Beatles. So, what do you think has been the key to your long-lasting success and connection with audiences worldwide?
Well, I think I think first and foremost, it's the music. The Beatles are loved the world over, and it seems to be no matter where you go, whether the country can speak predominantly English or not, they all seem to know the Beatles and they can all sing along. So I think first and foremost it's the music, and then of course we try to be as accurate as we can. As you know, as most people will know now, there's no longer a chance to see the real Beatles, as we've lost two of them. So we try to hopefully recreate what it could have been like to see the real Beatles in their day, and hopefully make a few people's dreams come true that would love to see them and obviously can't. So hopefully that's what the key to longevity is: accuracy and doing the music really well.
With all of that, how has your approach to performing and interpreting the Beatles' music evolved over the decades?
Over the decades, well, it takes a very long time to learn how to be one of the Beatles, and we get incrementally better over the years with more practice. Practice together, practice individually, but these days there's a lot more material available. Back in when we all started, it was cassette tapes and vinyl records and CDs, but now there's isolated tracks on YouTube of just the drums or just the bass, so you can learn absolutely every single note perfectly. And there are songs that I think now that I play pretty perfectly, but every so often something comes along and you realize that you're not doing it quite right. So it's a slow evolution towards getting it perfect, really. It takes a long time. I've been doing it for about 25 years and I still don't think that I've got it quite right. So it takes time. But the show has largely stayed the same, but there's a few little technological sort of improvements. We don't have speakers on the stage anymore that much because we use our in-ears, so it looks more like how the Beatles had their stage. So yeah, there's lots of things, and we have the videos and stuff.
It's constant evolution.
Yeah, it's constant evolution, little bits. Yeah.
Any unique influences or responses from the Vietnamese audience, and how do they compare to fans in other parts of the world?
They're as good as other parts of the world. We played in Ho Chi Minh City the other night, and the crowd were great. They were very welcoming. There were people dressed in Sergeant Pepper's clothes, although they must have been really hot because we were hot. But they enjoyed themselves and they sang along, and Hey Jude, everybody was up, and Twist and Shout and Obla Di Obla Da, they were up dancing. They were great, and obviously the Beatles are well liked over here, which is nice to see, because we didn't know what the reaction was going to be because we'd never played here before and we'd never been here before, but it was as warm as it was when we play in England.
Do you ever feel tempted to modernize or experiment with the Beatles sound, or do you prefer to stay faithful to the original arrangements?
Absolutely faithful to the original arrangements. We wouldn't want to deviate from what the Beatles did. There's no way we could improve it. So why try to improve perfection?
Same kind of instruments and things gets that sound, and I think if things were changed and modernised, as it were, using more modern equipment, then you would lose that faithful sound and tone. So I think it's best to stick to what they did and how they did it, because as John said, how do you beat perfection?
Yes. As one of the most celebrated tribute bands, what advice would you give to newer bands aiming to honor iconic groups while carving their own paths?
I think the first thing I'd like to put to get the ball rolling is, I think, to other bands that are looking to maybe do something like this. First of all, I think you need to be a fan.
Yeah, that's
of the music that you're hoping to pay homage to. I don't see myself doing any other music because I'm a huge fan of the Beatles, and I think you have to be a fan. So if you want to take it from there,
and also attention to detail. I think it's the details that people spot, and when all those details are put together, it looks like who you're trying to impersonate. As we look great as the Beatles, as four, all doing the detailed parts. So attention to detail, I think, is
Yeah, that's
important.
critical.
Anything else?
Yes, well, the same as what you say, authenticity. You know, if you're playing a certain person that the world knows, everybody knows what that person looks like, what they sound like, how they, you know, what socks they wear, shoes. Detail, yeah, attention to detail, authenticity, and really, we've spent most of our lives doing this. And like Gord says, we're still trying to make it as good for the audience as much as ourselves. So study is key. Study, you know, it is a full-time job and it's a way of life. So just watch and look and listen at everything that person does, I would say.
Yeah, and have fun. You know, enjoy it, because it's a great job. You're going on stage with the best back catalogue that's been written in the modern era. You know, so go and enjoy yourselves and do it. And hi, we're the Bootleg Beatles, and we want to say thank you, Vietnam, for having us. We've loved your country, we've loved your time here, and we want to say a special thank you to AMO Promotions for inviting us over. We hope to see you again.
Thank you.